Hello everyone, welcome to Crystal Eclipse. My name is Jessica. In this video, we'll be asking the cards about your future spouse and who it is you'll marry. Hopefully, we'll be able to see some personality traits, maybe some physical features. I have 4 stacks for you all today. Starting here, we have black agate in the shape of a moon, an obsidian heart, a rose quartz heart, and lastly, a rose quartz moon. So choose whichever stack or stacks call out to you. You can check the description box or the comment section for timestamps if you'd like to skip directly to the stack or stacks you've chosen. Remember to take whatever it is that you feel is calling out to you, whatever it is that you think the universe has meant for you to hear. Starting off with our first stack here and the black agate moon. And we're going to see here who your future spouse is, who it is you'll be marrying. So our first card here is Start Fresh with Chickweed. Next we have the Moon, Temperance, the Magician, and lastly the Nine of Shells with Gratitude and Fulfillment. So when it comes to the first card here with Chickweed and who it is your future spouse will be, who it is you'll marry, we see a lot going on in that Chickweed card. We see the major focus being what's within the magnifying glass, those flowers. But if we look around it, we realize that the flowers are actually incredibly small, right? They're very small flowers here. You need the magnifying glass to see them. This makes me think this is a person that pays attention to even the smallest details. Somebody who really, tunes into everything. A good listener, somebody who pays attention well, somebody who isn't very hasty, somebody who plans things out, not to like jump on things immediately. They don't like to be too spontaneous. They do like to have fun, represented in that moon card, but I would say that they're one who really thinks about everything a lot, very like detail oriented. But at the same time, they have a lot going on. We see beyond these flowers, the constellations, the skies, they're endless. There's so much going on here. And so even though they can see the smallest of details, they can also see the larger picture. So they don't get too caught up in focusing on the little things. So I'd say that they're a really balanced person. They know when to stop. They know when to like move on to something else. They know when like enough is enough. They know when to put like more effort into things. So it's a good balanced person. This card is also representing somebody who's very encouraging, somebody who's very hopeful, somebody who's very positive, somebody who is supportive but not like too pushy. We see that this hand here has the vines wrapped around it. It's encouraging this plant to grow, giving it a place to grow, and maybe to like reach higher, to reach the level that they know that they're supposed to reach. So I see this person as being a very positive, supportive spouse, as well as somebody who just really sees everything the way it is and can see so much more beyond just like the picture. When it comes to this relationship too, I see with that starting fresh that they don't hold things with them. They're not like a person who holds a grudge. They're not one who compares. Every relationship that they're in is a new relationship, and this relationship is a brand new fresh start. And I would also say, like, it doesn't seem like there were any serious relationships before this one, because it does seem like this is signifying a new beginning, a new relationship entirely, something that they've never been in before. We come into the moon card and we see that like counter. Even though we have somewhat of a serious character here in this chickweed, we see the moon card where everybody's having fun. It's like a really joyful event. You see the music notes, everybody's sort of dancing, even the little lobster in the lake. It's a great card. Somebody is represented in this card. Like, this is them being that joyful, happy person who loves like doing fun things. They may not like being surrounded by a lot of people, because we don't see them like a lot of people within that card, but I see them like loving gatherings, loving music, loving to make memories. It really seems like somebody who just loves to be happy, somebody who likes joy and positivity and will take every opportunity they have just to be happy, to be positive. And it's really like this person, your future spouse, really knows how to balance the like happiness, the happy-go-lucky times, the fun with the serious. And we see that really represented in Temperance. Somebody who is able to weigh things out, somebody who's able to look at the situation and really deeply evaluate it, know whether it's something that requires fun and sort of like jokey, or something that requires a more serious, solemn personality or emotion. They really know how to evaluate things. So I would say this person is really good at reading emotions, really good at reading the situation, and they take in what's around them. They will listen to others, the advice that others give them, but they also know how to make choices for themselves. So even here with this picture, when we see the caterpillar in the background, the caterpillar has given guidance, but this person is still going to make that decision themselves. So they'll take into consideration what others have said, but they're still the ones that are very capable. They're a very capable person, a very confident, strong-willed, strong-minded person. When it comes to like work and education and just, knowing where to be in life and having goals and dreams, this Magician card is really like screaming out to me that this person is like a real go-getter. They have worked very hard and will continue to work very hard. I see this as like representing a good job, somebody who's very dedicated to their work, and somebody who has earned their position and will continue to earn higher positions. So I see a lot of like building. Seems like somebody who will go back to school to further their education, to ensure that sort of progression through work, those promotions, those like constant higher achievements. It's somebody who like does not settle. If they know that they can go higher, they'll go higher. This is the card that represents mastering everything, like dedication, hard work. The Magician is able to master the cups, the swords, the wands, the pentacles. And that's how I see this person. They're the type of person who really works hard. They go after everything 100% energy. Like they will not stop until they get what it is that they want. And that comes to every situation. And it comes to like work. If they want that job, they will get it. If they want anything, they'll work very hard to get it. And it's so deserving. Like they're the most deserving person. You can see that they're working hard. You can see what kind of person they are, and that they're very deserving of everything, especially when we have gratitude and fulfillment coming in. This person does not take things for granted. This person does not think that they're deserving of things. They think that if they work hard, they'll get it, and they're still, no matter how hard they work, they're still appreciative of what has been given to them. They still see this as like something that they're lucky. They're lucky to have this relationship. They're lucky to have that job. And I see it as like constant gratitude, constant happiness, constant thankfulness about everything. This is a really kind person, one who's not boastful, one who is not like constantly trying to be the center of attention. This is somebody who works very hard, is very dedicated to everything, their relationships, their work. And there's somebody who is able to enjoy life, be a friend, be a colleague, be a supportive spouse. They're everything because they work very hard to be those things. And I see a lot coming through this chickweed card. They really put themselves into every relationship, everything they do. They really seem to be a very good person. That's what I'm seeing when it comes to this first deck, and who it is you'll marry, what kind of spouse this person will be. Sadly, I didn't get any major features here, but if this is where you're stopping, or if this is your only reading, I hope that something was able to stand out to you, and I hope that you and all your loved ones are doing well. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye-bye. Starting with our second stack here, and the Obsidian Heart. Starting with our first card, and who it is you'll marry, what kind of person they'll be. We have Between Dreams and Mugwort, the Strength card, the Page of Swords, the Two of Cups, and lastly we have the Two of Shells. So these two cards are actually the same card. It's a duplicate here. We see the Two of Cups coming out twice. It's just a different naming style within the Spirit Song deck. So we have two, and it makes me want to focus in on those ones first rather than reading over here. We're seeing that Two of Shells coming in. So they're very compatible person. They're very good with relationships, like work relationships, family relationships. But when it comes to this, it's really screaming the marriage, the relationship you'll have with them. We see a bond going on. We see union and harmony here. We see those two people together, these two birds together here. And what I like about this card is the two birds really fit seamlessly with each other. They're sort of like molded into the other one, and it seems like a really good relationship. They rely on each other. They care about each other, but they're not like solely dependent on the other person. It's a really good positive dynamic, and I see that as being like the major part of this person who it is you'll marry. Their relationships are very serious. They're more than just like family, friends, work. It's something that they put a lot of effort into, a lot of work into, a lot of evaluation into. And whenever it's a relationship that they feel is like very important to them, there's much more like attachment to it. They really seem like the type of person who cares incredibly deeply about others. When it comes to this is like the way they view you. They view you as this person who is very special, who's brought something that completes them into their life. It's that rounding. Wherever they're missing anything, you fill it in, and it's really a compatibility here. Also see that in that Strength card, that continued compatibility. The card here is sort of reading like Beauty and the Beast, where we see the Beast and this girl, but he's wearing this little fancy outfit, and inside of her little infinity symbol, there's a little heart. And you can tell that there's a good, strong relationship here, even though you look at it and you think that's a lion, like why would you want to go near that? You can still see how peaceful she is, how happy she is, how this is like a good relationship. And I see this person as being that type where they're really able to build good relationships. They don't judge people based on the way that they look or where they come from, their background. They really are like very accepting of others. They are open to everyone. They're willing to know everyone, willing to give everyone a chance. A very kind person, one who doesn't really care about any labels or anything. You can see them hanging out with anybody, but you can see them spending time with anybody. It's not like they don't restrict themselves to only certain relationships. And when it comes to those relationships that they do form, I see them like really bonding with people, and most importantly, I see them bonding really well with you, making this relationship not just a relationship. This is like their life. This is what they've wanted. This is something that like they'll fight for. They seem like a very, very dedicated, truly dedicated person. With the Mugwort card here, the Mugwort card is represented as Mugwort like entangled in a dream catcher. We see the feathers around it, a key, a little like bag, and a stone. And we can say that's any kind of stone, really. We can say that's clear quartz. We can say that's just a simple rock. Whatever it is, we look at it and we see that this is mainly a dream catcher. And dream catchers catch the bad dreams. They remind you that it is your dream and you're capable of controlling that dream. And this is really their mentality for life. They put their mind to it. They go after it. They know that they are in control of life. And at the same time, they know that they have to let things go. Sometimes they just have to let things happen, and that maybe they don't always have entire control over everything. Certain situations they can't tell others what to do. They can't prevent things from happening, but they can, if they work really hard, then they know that they can like steer the car. They can they can make sure that they're headed down the path that they're meant to head down. Also, it seems like that they're the ones that also weed out the bad dreams for others, weed out that negativity, protect others from harm. I see them as a major protector. We see that too with this two of shells. We see that one is sort of over the other, sort of like protecting it, sheltering it. We see this one here is like approaching the other. And even with this page of swords here, we see that they're ready, like they're ready to protect the other. We see a lot of protection going on here. So a strong protector, somebody who is one who tries really hard to be there for others, be supportive for others, be the dependable one for others, be the ones that try to prevent negativity or anything bad from happening. They really try to sort of watch over those that they care about. They stand beside people. They fight for people. They're a very good person. I see when the relationships that they're in, they really do put a lot of themselves into those relationships. They really do want to show others how much they care, just how much like they're invested in that relationship. But two, they want to be that person who is supportive and helpful and one who can make things a little easier, you know, somebody who just wants those around them to be happy. I see it as a major like happiness. I see them as a very loving person. They really seem to just value relationships. They're a hard worker, but relationships are just very important. Also with this page of swords, it seems like they're very capable, because we see those hearts here and the sword on the paper. It seems like they're really able to balance work and family. It seems like they really know how to like deal with both without sort of having one affect the other. That's what I'm seeing here. What kind of spouse it is you'll have with this second stack here and the obsidian heart. And if this is your only reading, or if this is where you're stopping, I hope that you have a wonderful day. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope that all your loved ones, as well as you, are doing well. Bye-bye. Start off with our third stack and the rose quartz heart, and who it is you'll marry. A little bit about your future spouse and their personality. We have first card with nettle, pay attention. Then we have the star, the fool, the four of cups, and lastly we have the six of shells with sentiment and joy. It's interesting, we have this pay attention card with nettle, and we have the four of cups here, because we have that like not actually paying attention aspect within this card. But I see a lot going on here. It's somebody who has a lot of different sort of personality traits, a lot of things that are you know, very important to this person. We see the nettle card, and nettle is commonly referred to as stinging nettle because it has little like prickly thingies on it that will sting you if you don't handle it properly. But if you do handle it properly, if you're careful, it won't sting you. If you wear gloves, if you like wrap your hands in material or fabric, it won't be able to get into your skin. So pay attention means like to watch what you're doing, to be more mindful, and to evaluate what's going on. And this is the type of person that they are. The type of person who really pays attention to things, really pays attention to where they're at, who they're with, and what's going on. I would say that too, like it seems like the type of person who really knows how to read emotions. They pay attention to how people are feeling, how people are acting, and they know how people feel. They will know when you're upset, when you're sad, without even having to ask you, without even having to like, you know, really hear anything. They already know how you're feeling, if you're happy or sad. This goes for everyone around them. They can really like tune in on those things, really focus in, really pay attention. I see this as being like a very mindful person, somebody who really does truly care about everyone and everything. Like they really do deeply pay attention to everything. As we continue into the star here, we're seeing the star like being this like glamorous, bright, shining centerpiece here. And this is like them physically. They're a very like attractive person, and not in a like where they try hard to be. It's that they're naturally attractive, that like every day they're attractive. Everything about them is just very attractive, and it seems like it mostly has to do with just their personality. Their personality makes them really a like this great person, this person that is just like everybody has their eye on. And when you look at them, even though they're this like super attractive person, there's still somebody who is real, somebody who's like tangible, somebody who actually exists. We can see that like with the stars. She's here pouring some of this water onto the land, but she's also replenishing what she's taken away. And it's a giving person. It's still like, even though this person has this like look to them where they don't seem real, like they're almost like too attractive, too perfect, there's something that's so real about them, like a real like person to them. They're a kind person, a giving person, somebody who's really dedicated to others, dedicated to balance. They don't want to be seen as just like one dimensional. They really want to be a good person, a good giving person, somebody who is known for being kind over anything else. That's really what they want. They want to like, if they're written down in the history books for anything, they want to be written down as being one who is giving. We have the Fool here, and we have the Four of Cups together. We're seeing two like sort of not paying attention to things, things that can be seen and in a multitude of ways. But with this, or the Fool card, I would say that this is a person that really jumps into things, and it doesn't seem like somebody who is like not doing it in a good way, somebody who just like does anything no matter how foolish it is, because we're seeing that card countering it here. And this is the way I want to read it, because of how they're lined up. We see them jumping into things, and we can see that like this might be a bad decision, but they don't take every opportunity that's presented to them, meaning they won't just jump into everything that is there. They actually do make good decisions. Like they do put a lot of thought into everything they do before they do it. So although it might seem a little foolish here, they do think about it. It's not a hasty decision. It's not just like, well, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna quit my job and like move to another country. They actually do think about things. So there's a lot of thought that goes on here. And even though like they're one who does like to start something new, I would say that it's not major things that would like impact you. They don't seem to be things that would cause major issues. I see them as like they really want to improve where they're at in life. They always want to grow. They always want to experience more. So they take a lot of thought, a lot of time to think about those things before they jump into anything. And that also is a reflection in like their work, their employment, their continued education, or desire to further their education. It seems like they're really one who is much wiser than they seem, much more thoughtful than they seem. They seem like the type that really plans things out, and for that I would say that they seem like they're a really good worker. And it's almost like with this Four of Cups card, like they're the first to finish whatever their task is. They're always the one that's done the fastest, and it might seem like they didn't do it as well, but they're always so dedicated and such a hard worker that it's always like done perfectly. They're always like able to do things really fast, really well. They work really hard. And finally here we have the Six of Shells with sentiment and joy. And the Six of Shells, because we have these two little otters here, it's making me think of a relationship, like a romance. When it comes to the two of you together, it seems like something that is a fun thing for them, something that brings them a lot of joy. They really see this relationship as something fun, something that is bright and lively, positive. and a journey with you, a journey of exploration and getting to do anything and everything. Just a lot of fun. It's serious, like they take it serious because we see that nettle, that wisdom, that evaluation, but also they're the ones that, like, I see it as like the type that want to surprise you. Like they'll come back and they'll say, okay, I've planned everything, this is what we're doing for the week, like we're going here. And that might seem like foolish to you, but they planned it out. They plan everything out, but they're still like one who loves doing new and fun things. It seems like a really like good like balanced person, but one who is like, it doesn't seem like they're balanced, but they really are. Like they seem like a really fun but like smart, wise person. That's what I'm seeing here with this third stack and the rose quartz heart. And if this is where you're stopping, or if this is your only reading, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Hope you and all your loved ones are doing well and staying safe and healthy. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye. Starting on our last stack here with the rose quartz moon and who it is you'll marry, who it is your future spouse will be. We have our first card here with St. John's wort and light in the darkness. And the first card here is the Chariot. We have the Three of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Feathers with recovery and transformation. So we actually have an interesting assortment here. It's a lot going on. We see really a continued reflection of you two together here. And I want to focus on other aspects of who they are before I focus on that, because I think that's the major part of this reading. I think that your relationship is coming through in these cards. So we see St. John's wort here, and we see this brightness here, this center sun here, and it's surrounded by this darkness, this snow, this frost. And the St. John's wort, they're little tiny flowers. They're like little itsy bitsy petals, you know, like little minute little things. But when they bloom into these really beautiful bright yellow flowers that bring like all this brightness into the environment they're in. And they require a lot of water to grow, so they need to have either a lot of water in summer or a lot of water in winter in order to thrive. But they're these really bright, positive looking flowers that almost like give you that hope. And that's this person, even in like the worst times, even when things aren't going well, this person still has this positivity, this great, like, everything will turn out all right, don't worry personality. They really are a very hopeful person, and not in a way that seems like they can't grasp reality. They can, they're aware of things, but they still want things to turn out well, so they still maintain that hope, remain positive no matter what happens. But we see it continuing into the Chariot card. We see that sort of like take the reins yourself character here. This person is going out there, very capable, very positive, might be worried, might not have, you know, like a entire game plan going on, but they still think that, you know, things can turn out well. If you notice here, we have a continuation again. We have the sun here, and if you look very close on this character's head, their crown, we see a little sun here. We see stars, the moon, but we also see the sun, and that's a continuation of this brightness, this positivity, this like desire to move ahead, to keep heading forward, keep moving forward. We see that continuing with this person. This person works so hard, even if there's a setback, they're going to like continue to move forward. I see it as like the one that can fall off a horse 1,000 times and still get back up on it. You know, this person really works hard, and I see that reflected in their personal life, in their relationships, as well as in their workplace. And I see them also, because of this card, having a higher position at work because of that like strength, that personality trait of still like working hard no matter what. Like somebody else might have come along later at their job and gotten a promotion before them or after them, but well, they could have been working at the job and somebody else could have gotten a promotion even though they were working there longer. That's what I'm trying to say. But I don't see them taking it as something negative. I see them saying like they need to work harder in order to earn that promotion. So it's somebody who really takes things well. And they won't just be a pushover. I see it as like they'll work hard, and if like maybe if they did, maybe if somebody else did get that promotion and they thought that they were deserving of it, they'll work harder, and if they still don't get it, then they'll say, you're not seeing what I'm offering you. You know, they'll stand their ground and say like you need to appreciate me. So I see it as like both here. Now, focusing on the other three cards, and this is where it seems really mostly about the relationship between the two of you. So this, when it comes to work, I see them having a really good job. I see them really doing well in life. I see them working really hard, being a good person, being a positive person. When it comes to these, we see that Three of Swords starting off. And Three of Swords, of course, like representing that heartbreak, the issues, you know, like a previous relationship that didn't work out. We have what looks like a wedding cake here. Could be that this person was very serious, like in a previous relationship. They thought that this relationship was going to progress to marriage, but it didn't. And it really impacted them. They, even though they were positive, we don't see the sun here. It's raining. So this relationship really like took away their positivity. It really like left them in a sort of negative spot. And it really like, it took a lot from them. But then you came along. And we see these two cards here as the representation of you. We see that happiness here. The storm has cleared upon your arrival. And that's why we have that rainbow. We are returning to this bright and positive place because you've come into their life. And they see that newness. They see like almost a revival going on here of that previous character, that previous life they had. And we see that strongly represented here with the recovery and transformation card in the 10 of Feathers. We're seeing that moving forward, getting rid of the past, being able to heal from this hurt and focus on the future. And this card is really, the 10 of Cups represents a lot. It represents family life, marriage, things like moving forward. And here in this like future spouse reading, of course, having a card that represents marriage is really good because it's showing you that this is being a what is it, reaffirmed by the universe. This is the universe saying that this is a good positive relationship. This is a relationship that's supposed to be, and that this will be a good, like, not just a relationship, you know, something that helps both of you heal, both of you grow into a new stage in life. This really, when we see that transformation, this is new to you. This is both of you coming together in this marriage brings out a new level, a new journey, a new, like, you're finally on the road that you're meant to be on. And that's really what these cards are saying. This person's a very, very great person, you know, one who can find something positive in the worst of scenarios. Whatever this was like a hurt that they needed you to heal from, or help them heal from. They seem to be like a great person, a great positive person. Once you come into their life, they're able to return to that. And that's really what I'm seeing with this stack. Even though we focus more on the relationship here, seems like that's really what the universe is saying. If the universe is saying like focus on the relationship, then that's what I'm going to focus on. So that's the final stack here with the rose quartz. And if this is where you're ending, or if this was your only reading, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And I hope that you and all your loved ones are staying safe and healthy and happy. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. And if you've watched this entire video, or if you're still watching, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If there's a question you would like asked in a future pick a card video, feel free to leave it in the comments section. I hope that you were able to find a stack that, you know, provided with you with answers, or you felt was like meant for you here. Please stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much for all the kind comments and the likes and the subscriptions. Please, like, to all your loved ones and all the people around you, including you, I wish you joy and happiness. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye.